Hi there, folks. This is Sam Price, and welcome to another episode of Probate Notes. I have with me today a really great guest, and her name is Sharon Vidano. She's a life coach with Light Up Your Soul. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for being here with me today.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Okay.
Well, I wanted to get a little better understanding of you because you have a very interesting background of how you got to being a life coach.
Yes. So I actually just retired from being a criminal defense attorney. So I know what that stresses are about being an attorney and that lifestyle. And
Congratulations.
thank you. And throughout my life and career, life happens. And at some point, I was going through my trials and tribulations, and I ended up getting a divorce. And healing from that, I actually hired a life coach myself and transformed and expanded myself. And based on that, I really had the tools that I was able to really just move forward from all the different things that had happened in life. And I was able to apply that in eventually meeting up and marrying the love of my life now. But I also applied those tools in my career and overall work balance. So, and I loved it so much. And I said, you know what? Everybody should hear about this. It's like I have a Christmas present that I want to give everyone. And so I got certified in it. So now that's what I do. I help everyone do the same.
That's incredible. So, I know that you have this idea that's to express that there are some people who are kind of living their life by default rather than by design. Do you find that the life of an attorney lends itself to being living out your life by default instead of design?
Yes, I do. And what I mean by default is many times is we're kind of just on a hamster wheel. We're living life without even really thinking. These are the things that I should be doing. And what's next? What is next logically? What are the things that society, life tells me that I should be doing next? And so a lot of times we're spending, many hours either in the office or in court, and we do our best and we're doing our job, and then we come home and hopefully we have time to eat and hang out with our family, and then we go to bed and maybe we'll get 6 hours sleep, maybe. And then you jump up and then the next morning and you do the same thing all over again. So it's kind of like a default. It's kind of like on autopilot. And I think, and it's not really thinking. And there's no intentional thinking behind it. So I believe that that is a life by default. And there are ways with shifting your mindset where you can actually design the life that you love and start to get different results. And even if you're still in your career, you can shift your mindset so then it will feel a little bit more fulfilling and feel like, you know what, this is the life that I love living.
What are some of the keys to designing a life you want to live?
The first one is really asking yourself, what would you love? And and I like to play a game where I say it's like if you can wave a magic wand, imagine it's 3 years from now. What would that life look like? And imagine exactly what you would love, and then throw out the how, throw out the do I think I can even have it? Throw out the I don't have training, I don't have experience, I don't have money. Stop asking the how. Just imagine what would that feel or what would that look like? And then you take it to the next level and you ask, what would it feel like to be living that life itself? And you're going to have a very different feeling tone in that because our mind is so powerful. It's kind of like when I say, "Hey Sam, imagine biting on a slice of lemon." And you can just imagine biting it down and the juices are exploding in your mouth, like your little salivary glands start to go.
Yes.
That's how powerful our mind is. So our mind can actually be in that reality of that version of you where it already worked out. So when you are in that version or that feeling tone where it already worked out, guess what? That Sam 3 years from now, who's already has a life that he lives where it's all worked out, he is acting differently. He is making decisions differently. He is being differently. He's even giving very differently than the version that's sitting here today. So whatever that vision is, that's how you really bring it to life into your mind. Is you ask yourself what would you love, and then you go into that feeling tone, and you bring in all five of the senses in that vision, and then you come from that vision. So that's how you design the life you love. And ask yourself, would that version of myself where it already worked out, would that version of myself make that decision that I'm thinking about making today? And if the answer is no, then okay, then you start to ask yourself a better question and see what your next step is. So that's how you design the life.
You talk a lot about energy, and this seems to be very important about the energy. How does someone feel the energy that they have, or regenerate it or preserve it?
So when you have a case, if you have a case that's difficult, or if you're in, if, or say you're an attorney and you're in the courtroom and you're dealing with your counterpart and the conversation is just going and going and you can feel it like heating up a little bit. So one, notice what you're noticing. So you're noticing, oh, this is starting to go down. And you can feel like your energy is getting sucked out because you're starting to get like frustrated or maybe even a little angry. You can feel your blood pressure going up a little bit. You have one of the tools I like to teach my clients is you have an internal pause button. So you actually can actually just first notice what you're noticing, then you pause, and if you can step away for a minute and you just actually take a deep breath, you breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth like through a
Really?
straw. Yes. And that actually calibrates your nervous system. And when you are in that anxious, like fight mode, it's kind of like going back to the caveman days. You're in a fight, flight, or freeze mode. That's like survival. You can't really think. You're almost reactive when you're in that mode. So when you notice that your energy is starting to go in fight, flight, or freeze, you just pause yourself, you breathe, and you calibrate your breath. And now your nervous system is calming down, and you can go into rest, digest, create. Now you can think more clearly, you can be at your best in your conversations, and be very intentional. Um, and the breathing is very important. And because you don't want your energy being sucked out all the time, because then if you don't notice that it's getting sucked out all the time, now you're going to be tired, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be so stressed out, then you're not going to be at your best when it comes time for you either to really make a presentation or make that phone call or do the research that you need to do. So you notice what you're noticing, notice that your energy is getting sucked out, and you just pause and breathe. And you can do that a few times throughout the day. And then you can actually notice that your energy, you're not getting so frustrated. So you can calibrate yourself. Uh, and then it'll be there when you need it and when it's most important.
And what are some of the ways that we can invest in ourselves if we want to grow and we want to have different results?
So one of the things that I think is really important if you want different results is to really get in a structure of support. Because, yes, you can purchase a program and if it's sitting on your computer and you never touch it, there's no accountability, there's no structure behind it. I mean, and I'm guilty of this. I will say, I had a gym membership a long time ago and I kept paying those dues and I wasn't going, and it's kind of like if you have the trainer, you have the accountability, someone is expecting you to show up. You're expected to have whatever your next action step is there, and they're going to hold you accountable to that. So it's important to have a structure of support. And when you're in that, because we have learned to think this way our whole lives, and you can't expect to have shift your mindset permanently, after one time, like one conversation. What you want, it's kind of like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth once and then you're done. It's about repetition, and it's starting to rewire your brain. And there's some scientific proof behind this in regards to your thoughts. Rewire your brain from your disempowering thoughts, that this is going to be hard. The day is going to be, this client's difficult, whatever it is, or this is just how it is. That's another one that a lot of people say, this is just how it is, and I just need to suck it up, and it doesn't have to be that way. So you can actually change your thoughts, have empowering thoughts. But it's about repetition and knowing to keep those empowering thoughts, even when those disempowering thoughts pop in, you know, sometimes it could be like, well, this is too hard. This is too hard to change. What's the point? That's another way. But Once you notice that thought coming in, you can pause it and say, thank you for trying to keep me safe and in my comfort zone, but no, thank you. And then you go into your empowering thought. But it's about repetition and being in a structure support, having that accountability like a coach to keep you showing up and doing those action steps. Kind of like a trainer in a gym, otherwise your gym membership is sitting in your wallet or on your phone.
Yeah.
It's never being used. Yeah.